Hello everybody, welcome to this video, and here we are going to discuss about the different layers of the OSI reference model. So as discussed in the previous video, we have seen that network architectures require layering so that the complexity of the network software is easily manageable. Also, the management of the various components is done in a simple manner. And we talked about two different types of reference models. One is the ISO OSI model, and the other is the TCP/IP model. So in this video, we are going to look at the different layers of the OSI model and see what functions they perform. So at the end of this video, you should be able to identify the functions performed in each of the different layers of the OSI model. And you should also be able to name the layers in sequence of the OSI model. So let's start. So the OSI model was designed by the organization called the ISO, or International Standards Organization. And the idea was to bring about compatibility among devices made by different organizations. So that is why this system is called the OSI model. OSI stands for Open System Interconnection. Open System Interconnection. Sorry, this is Open System Interconnection. Next, so we will see what are the various layers. So there are 7 layers, as I had mentioned earlier. So at the bottom, you have the physical layer, followed by the data link layer, the network layer, the transport layer, the session layer, the presentation layer, and the application layer. And here you have, at the top, you have the user. And here you have the physical media. So this is the user, and this is the transmission media. Okay. So every node that is executing or that is taking part of a network has to have these different layers, has to perform some of the tasks that are there in this layer. Now, remember here, these are only reference models. These are only reference models. That means it is not compulsory for every organization to follow all the models, all the layers. Okay, they can combine some of the layers, some of the activities into a single layer. They can omit some of the layers. So it is not compulsory for them to follow this. Okay, but you'll find that most of the activities are listed out in these different layers, as we shall see. Okay. So how does the layers interact between each other, interact among themselves? Okay. So here, if you see in this diagram, you'll find that there is a device A and there is a device B. So A wants to communicate with device B. Now, very rarely you will have a situation where device A is directly connected with device B by a cable. So in between, you have these intermediate nodes. All right. So these intermediate nodes together, they connect the device A to device B. Okay. So at the device A, you have these 7 layers. At device B, you have these 7 layers. All right. And for the intermediate nodes, you can see these intermediate nodes are not generators of data. Okay, it's not a computer, or it is not some device which will generate data or a data source. They are simply there to help in the communication. So it may be a router, it may be a switch, it may be a hub. Okay, So they are not generating data on their own. They are simply helping in forwarding the data from device A to device B. So there is for device A, these intermediate nodes, you'll find that they have only 3 layers. Okay, you can see physical, data link, and network. So they have only these. And you can see below here, this is what? This is the physical communication media. So device A here is communicating with the intermediate node here. This intermediate node here is communicating with intermediate node out here. And this is communicating with device B. Okay. So the same OSI model, but then depending upon the device, they may have all the layers or they may have only some of the layers. Okay, so, and you can also see something more here in this diagram. Let me just clear it first. Clear out all these markings. Okay, so here I have application layer and presentation layer, and then 7/6 interface. What it means? It means that this is the interface between the application layer and the presentation layer. Similarly, here we have 6/5 interface. Okay, so this is the interface between presentation layer and the session layer, and so on. Okay, then something else you can see here, peer-to-peer protocol. So the application layer of A must communicate with the application layer of B. Okay, so both are called peers. Peer. This is a peer. So the application layer of A is communicating with the application layer of B, device B. So there has to be a peer-to-peer protocol at the 7th layer. Similarly, for presentation layer of A is communicating with presentation layer of B. Remember the letter example? Okay, the letter which is sent by the user, put in an envelope and sent to the user, is being collected by the receiver, and then only the receiver can open it. Okay, so the letter is being sent from the sender and to be opened by the receiver. Whereas in the post office, okay, from the mailbox, it is going to the post office. Okay, and at the receiver side also, from the post office, it is going to the mailbox. So that is the peer-to-peer protocol that is working here. So that is, those are the peers. So here also for session also the same, transport also the same. But if you look at these, between A and the intermediate node first, okay, the network layer of the device A will communicate with the network layer not of the device B, but with that of the intermediate node to which it is connected. Similarly for data link, and similarly for physical. Okay, similarly here also you can see between the two intermediate devices, okay, they communicate at the peers are the network layer and network layer of intermediate node 2, data link layer, physical and physical. Okay, and again at this point the peers are this and this is a peer, this and this, these two are peers. All right, so this is in brief how this whole system is going to work and how they are going to communicate. So the protocols between the peers. So here, if there is an application layer protocol, that application layer of device A will communicate with the application layer of device B. And if there is a network layer protocol, the network layer of device A will work with the network layer of the intermediate node. All right, let's move to the next slide. Let's look at the data exchange that takes place. So here you see in the data exchange, we have D7 that, excuse me, this D7 that you can see, this is the actual data which is generated by this device A. Okay, so since we have 7 layers, you can see this is layer 7, this is 6, this is 5, 4, 3, 2, and this is 1. This is the physical layer. So what is done is the data which is generated by the user or the sender is encapsulated. Let me write the term here. encapsulated. That means it is taken and then some additional information is added to it, and this whole thing becomes one unit of data. So what is the additional information? This H7. So this H7 is called the header. This is a header. So in the header, some additional information is being added by a particular layer. So this is layer 7, that is application layer. So you have D7 is the data generated by the user, and H7 is the header added by the application layer. So together, H7 and D7, together, this whole thing becomes one unit, and that will go to the lower layer, which is the presentation layer. So at the presentation layer, this D6 is nothing but, H7 followed by, this is the concatenation operator, let me just write it, this header followed by the data. Okay, so D6 is this. So this D6 that you get here, this goes to the presentation layer from the application layer. And then the presentation layer will put its own header. The same process continues everywhere. You see, in the next layer, that is, this is D5 and header 5. D4, header 4. Okay, D3, header 3. Except for the last two. You can see in the last one, along with the header, D2 is the data which is received from the network layer. This is the data link layer. So in the data link layer, from the network layer, you get D2. Then the data link layer adds not just a header, it adds something at the end also. And this something at the end is called a trailer. Header and trailer. So the data link layer adds a header as well as a trailer. And then this whole thing is sent to the physical layer, and the physical layer, which actually deals with the, does not look at the data as like a mail or something. It just looks at it as a sequence of zeros and ones. So the physical layer also adds its own header, and then this whole thing is being sent by the media. This is the transmission medium. So the transmission medium will, since this is in the digital form, it will convert it into the appropriate form, which is necessary for transmission, and then it will send it. So at the destination, you can see what happens. In the destination, just the reverse happens. In from the sender side, you have encapsulation, and in this at the receiver side, you have de-encapsulation. Let me just, I don't know whether a term like this actually exists or not, but let me just use this. De-encapsulation means it is going to strip off these additional headers and trailers that are added. So the physical layer will take whatever it receives from the sender, and it will remove this part, the header. The data link layer will take whatever it gets from here, it will remove the header, and it will remove the trailer. Similarly, at every layer, the header that was added at the sender side is removed, and the rest of the data is forwarded to the next higher layer. So it goes on like this till at the application layer, the header for H7 is removed, and D7, which is the actual data, is sent to the, is given to the user. So this is the way in which your data exchange takes place across the different layers and across different nodes. All right. So you can see that there is a lot of additional data which is added. So your initial data was only D7, but with that, you have all these additional information, H7, H6, H5, H4, H3, H2, H2, T2, and then this additional bit, sequence of bits, which were added at the physical layer. So whenever you're transmitting some data across the network, it is not just your data which goes with it, some additional information also goes with it. Just like in our letter example, it is not just the letter which goes. Along with the letter on the envelope, the user, the sender must also write the name of the person who is receiving, the address, the phone number, and so on. All these details must be given. Then a postage stamp must be stuck. Okay. So those are what? Those are not contents of the letter, but those are additional information which will help in the transmission. So all these headers and trailers that are added by the different layers, these assist in the transmission process. This assists in the proper transmission of the data D7 from the sender to the receiver. So having given this, let me stop this video here, and then in the next video, I will continue with the different layers of the ISO and the OSI model.